Hey guys, welcome back. Bolt Spider here, and I think I fixed my microphone levels, but we're going to be looking at the first new stuff from Supreme Darkness. We have brand new Evil Hero support, so let's get right into it. Now, first off, we're going to be looking at the first card in the set being Evil Hero Toxic Bubble. It is a Water Fiend effect, level 4, 800 attack and 1200 defense. It is a retrain on Element Hero Bubble Man. You can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except hero monsters. And if this card is special summoned and you control a fusion monster that must be special summoned with Dark Fusion, you could draw 2 cards. So it's realistically an extender that gets you 2 draws throughout your combo, which is very nice, and honestly I could definitely see this being a staple in the Omni Hero deck, especially with what all there's going to be there, or even in Destiny Hero you could tie it with Evil Hero and Vision Hero. Next up on the list, we're going to be looking at a retrain to Element Hero Prison being Evil Hero Death Prison. It is a light level 4 rock effect monster, 1700 attack and 1100 defense, and you can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. If you control a fusion monster that must be special summoned with Dark Fusion, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can send 1 hero monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you fusion summon a hero monster this turn, this face-up card can be used as a substitute for any one fusion material whose name is mentioned on it, but the other materials must be correct. So literally, you don't have to run Element Hero Neos anymore, because this is just a complete overhaul and just wiping out a lot of the generic materials, so you don't have to run things like Avian, Burstinatrix, Sparkman, or even Neos anymore, because this is your go-to Evil Hero fusion substitute material, which is really nice, especially for the deck like this. So next up, we actually have a card that's kind of a retrain or an upgrade or an import from Titan, and it got changed from Picador Fiend to Evil Hero Hell Rider. And it's probably going to be called Inferno Rider in the TCG, but it is a Dark Fiend effect, level 6, 20, 100, and 800. So I think this is just an upgrade of Picador Fiend, so let's get into it. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Dark Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can banish this card and 4 other monsters from your graveyard. Set 1 Super Polymerization from your deck. Also, until the end of your opponent's turn, you cannot special summon except hero monsters, but you can fusion summon fusion monsters that must be special summoned with Dark Fusion with effects other than it. So, realistically, it's just telling you, hey, set Super Poly, because the new fusions say you don't need Dark Fusion, I believe. But overall, it's an interesting card being able to get to your Super Poly. And honestly, I cannot wait to see what these fusions do, because there's a total of 3 of them. As a fan of Neos and the whole Neospatian archetype, I'm really ecstatic seeing a new Neos. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, I mean that we're getting Evil Hero Neos Lord. It is a level 10 Dark Fiend fusion effects monster, 2500 attack and 2000 defense, and it takes 1 Element Hero Neos, or 1 fusion monster that mentions it, plus 1 effect monster on the field. Must be special summoned with Dark Fusion, and you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is special summoned, or if a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard while this monster is on the field, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So it is a tower-like card, and on top of that, it is a change of heart. So if you super poly your opponent and this is on the board, you get to take control of another monster, further breaking that board. So honestly, this is a really powerful card, especially for the deck. And at this point, you can run the Elemental Hero Neos because of that exact reason of one of the materials, and you could just use a card on the field, which is super good. Afterwards, we have a new retrain for Inferno Wing. It is Infernal Backlash. It is a level 6 Fire Fiend fusion effect monster, 2100 attack and 1200 defense. It takes Elemental Hero, Avian, or Burstinatrix plus 1 hero monster. This is where Dark Prison comes into play. It must be special summoned with Dark Fusion, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Dark Fusion or one card that mentions it from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except a fusion monster. And if your hero monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict 2100 damage to them. So realistically, a burn effect on a battle destruction is fine, and in my opinion, this is a really okay fusion for the deck because you have your new Death Prison, which could facilitate into an OTK with this card, which I really do like. And it also recycles your Dark Fusion so you can fusion summon once again. And before we get into the next card, I do want to say I did call this, and I am happy that we have a retrain to Inferno wing because it's one of my favorite Evo heroes from the whole bunch. So after the Inferno wing, we're going to be taking a look at a new fusion for the deck. I think this is an Inferno Gainer plus Malicious Edge fusion because it takes a Fiend and a Warrior, and honestly, this is going to be one of the more interesting fusions for the deck. We have Evil Hero with Dark Knight. It is a level 8 Earth Fiend fusion effect monster with 1600 attack and 0 defense, and it takes one Fiend monster and one Warrior monster. And it must be special summoned with Dark Fusion, and monsters your opponent controls loses attack equal to the total original attack of the fusion materials used for this card's summon. So no matter what, you're going to be using a total of 3000 or more attack, so everything your opponent does gets dunked down to 0, which is very strong of a fusion monster, and it can make a second attack during each battle phase, and if this face-up special summon card you control leaves the field by your opponent, you can target one Fiend or Warrior monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So realistically, this is a very good fusion because it gets to stun out your opponent from the attack stat, and being able to just run over everything with little to no effort is very useful. But with his attack super low, you have to be very careful with it because anything can happen to it in literally an instant. Afterwards, let's get into the spells. We have Dark Contract. This is a normal spell and activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of this card's name once per turn. So you can either fusion summon one fusion monster that must be special summoned with Dark Fusion from your extra deck by shuffling its materials from your field, graveyard, and or banishment into the deck. This is treated as a fusion summon with Dark Fusion. Or you can add one Supreme King Castle or Dark Fusion from your deck to your hand. So in my opinion, I think you are absolutely going to be just fusion summoning with it, but it depends on what your opponent has on the board. So in my opinion, being able to search out a Dark Fusion could be useful to get some plays going, especially with the new Inferno wing. And overall, I really do enjoy the arts of these cards because they are really unique and an interesting take on the whole entire evil hero archetype as a whole. Next up, let's take a look at the Evil Assault. It is a normal spell and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Discard one card. You cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except hero monsters. Also take one level 4 or lower evil hero monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, add one Dark Fusion from your graveyard to your hand. So it's another way to get to Dark Fusion, which is really nice, and honestly I could definitely see this being more of a 2 of in the deck, maybe a 3 of, because it gets to all your evil hero stuff from your deck. So you can search things out like a Dusted Gold, so you can get another search. And you can get a Dark Fusion on the follow-up turn, which could lead into interesting OTK potentials, which I really do see that this deck is going to be doing, on top of what normal hero already does. And now finally we have the last card of the bunch. We're going to be looking at Dark Supremacy. It is a normal trap, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Dark Fusions and spells that mention it in your graveyard. Negate their effects until the end of this turn. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you could banish it, then target up to 5 hero monsters in your graveyard and or banishment, shuffle them into the deck. It recycles your resources, which is really nice, and honestly overall it's a very useful card. I could see it being a one of because it is a type of card like Forbidden Droplet but utilizing cards that are in your graveyard via Dark Fusion or spells that actually mention Dark Fusion. So overall, I could definitely see this being a useful card, and it is searchable because it does mention Dark Fusion, I believe. And I think that this is going to be a very interesting turn for the hero deck, but we shall see what there is. But anyways, I have been Bolt Spider. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and looking into the new Evil Hero support from Supreme Darkness. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video.